So today it's raining outside and we're getting really close. Drywall has been ordered, should be delivered any day, and we've got a little bit of blocking and framing to do now that the plumbers and electricians have done. I mean, this room's a total mess, but it's the mechanical room, so everything is coming into here, and we want to get that sheetrocked, obviously. So I'm going through, got the laser set up, and I'm going to be doing some soffits to hide a lot of that pipe that is dropped below the ceiling. Just random things throughout the day here where we've got to get prepped for drywall, so that's what we're working on. I always like to screw these soffits just because they are hanging from the ceiling, and I feel like a screw is going to do a little bit better job holding. You didn't nail into a wire, did you? Interesting. So this morning we were working on these soffits and getting this back wall, the plywood on. There's going to be, this electrical box actually is going to get moved. You can see where all these gray pipes are coming out over here. The electrical box is going to be underneath of that. I think over here is actually where the water softener, maybe, or I can't remember. Something's over here, and over here we made a soffit. These pipes will all get put on like a 4-inch spacing, and they'll come out the drywall, and then right down here will be a manifold where all the domestic water will be set up. And yeah, all this is ready to go. Okay, you guys will see behind me, we've got one cedar post done, and this is kind of the whole setup of what we did. We've marked center of the post where we want it. We've got a laser that is going the entire wall here. I don't know if you can see the laser just kissing the side of that LVL, which is giving us our plane down here. And then we're gonna back it off 1.5 inches. So Greg just did that. We just used a 2x4 to back it off 1.5 inches, and we'll use this also to make sure that we're 1.5 inches off of the face. We're gonna mount this bracket right to the concrete, but we're not gonna use deep screws so that we don't, obviously we don't wanna go into our radiant heat. Now, before we mount this, we're actually going to use this to locate the bottom of our post where we're going to be putting these fasteners so that those heads aren't an issue. We're going to drill in the bottom of our post so that those fasteners sit within the post, not impeding it from sitting on the ground all the way. All right, I'm just going to mark where these holes are. All right, now set the depth here, so that way I don't drill too deep into this concrete. All right, we should be cut to size here. So I'm just gonna slip this in the bracket, and those holes that we drilled should go right over top of our screw fasteners. And Greg, you're gonna give it your all, man. Yep, okay. Go your way. Just a hair, dude, more.
My way?
Yeah, hair. Oh, I call that good. So what we've done up here, you can see we've got that post directly underneath our frame, and we've just added that angle bracket, and we're gonna lag that in with some GRK structural lags, both to our LVL and down into that post to add just a little bit of extra structure. And then we're gonna throw some toenails for good measure just to help. I didn't really know what solution was best in this case. I've never really seen a specific detail here. So if you've got something or a link to a product that would be good in this application, let me know. I'd love to check it out. Take a look at that, man. We finally have our drywall getting put in the house. So there's like over 300 sheets, and these are not 4x8 sheets. These are big 12s. 54-inch wide. It's gonna be a lot of drywall, a lot of sheetrock to be hung. But they got the boom here, so they're gonna be going right through that window right there for all the upstairs, and they've already got half this stuff unloaded. You guys are moving. So it's definitely pretty busy on the inside. We've got drywaller going to town, like loading up the house with drywall. We've got the plumber here wrapping up some venting and some shower plumbing. The electrician is trying to wrap up. Hopefully in the next couple days, I think they're going to be back to start hanging drywall. Luckily the upstairs is completely done, so that's where they'll start. And what Greg and I have to do is, you can see behind me the yellow water screen on the building. That is required anytime you go over 12 feet in length with your vertical siding from LP, which is what we're doing. Trying to get this done because the plumber needs to pop out the wall with some shower vents, like, you know, the bathroom vents, and we want to make sure that he's hitting a good spot on the siding. And instead of guessing, having him drill and then us install and then re-drill holes, we're going to just try to bust this out real quick in the next day or so and get all this done so that he can do what he needs to do. We got started with running some of our vertical LP Smart Side with Expert Finish, which means it comes pre-finished. So as we install it, we touch up our nail holes. It's done. I don't have to wait for a painter to come back and caulk and do all the paint. But what we have to do is, we've got our capstone, and then we've pre-bent some aluminum flashing here just to aid in getting water out and over top of this stone. So that's what I'm going to install. You will notice, and some people have commented on Instagram, why these windows are trimmed and then our upper windows are not trimmed before we run our siding. And that's because with the vertical siding, you have two ways to do it. You might argue one way is better than the other, I don't know. But these windows, by trimming them now, we could run the stone into them. By not trimming the upper windows, we can run our siding around them. We are making sure that the head flashing is on, so any water is going to work its way over the window if it does manage to get behind the siding. Because remember, this is an open clad siding of sorts where there's no caulked joints on the battens. Water can drive in behind that siding, hence the reason for a water screen and a properly detailed and flashed, you know, stone, window, door, all those areas where you potentially could have water get behind. You want to integrate some tape flashing into the WRB WeatherLogic panel. So, you know, as long as you're controlling the water, you already know that water is going to get behind your siding anyway. So that is why we don't have to flash and trim our windows. We do flash, but we don't have to trim the windows before the Smart Side. We can lay it over top, and we'll take you through those details as we go, but just wanted to get that out of the way. So something I should mention probably, when using vertical siding, Smart Side like this, you're not supposed to run it through wall plates. What that means is if you got a two-story home, even though these are 16-foot pieces, you shouldn't be running them across your plates because there can be settling or movement at those locations, and they don't want you to do that. So you're supposed to be using, here, one second, Greg, come down, a trim and having like a separator. However, with our post frame, because we are, you know, essentially a balloon frame and we don't have that, we're able to run a full length piece. So it's nice because we can do this. It's going to save us a lot of time, material, and it's going to give us one less joint to look at down the wall. So that's awesome. Are you good, Greg? Ooh, right in my face. Let's see, man, if this works on the first try, I don't know what I'd do, Greg. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, maybe just amazing cut, man, I guess.
Nah, it's all about the measurements, dude. Okay, I need to go up. Right there.
I don't want to be tight there. I'm just gonna hit this guy.
Sure feels good to finally be getting this corner closed off. We can get that corner trim on, we can run our band board up at the top, and then we can run those battens, and I can promise you the battens are gonna be what really changes the look of this building. What's your height, buddy? All right, so now that we have most of the siding up on this wall here, what we've done is we just got done putting up this band board. That is the top like 1x4 or 5/4 by 4-inch board above Greg there. That goes up along the soffit, and that is now, so Greg can be working on those battens. So he's cutting and fitting all those battens in. That covers our gap of our vertical siding. And what I'm doing is up here, I want to get this corner trim installed. So that corner trim needs to be installed so we can get our gutter back on. We've got a big rainstorm coming, maybe an inch and a half of rain tomorrow, and I want that to be installed. So I'll show you what I'm doing to make that happen, because it is a little tricky. You've got weird angled and different cuts up top, and then you've got the roof down low, and I try to make that as simple as possible, so I'll show you how I do it. So what I do is, these are 10 footers, maybe they're 10.6, I'm not sure, but I only need like 8 foot. So all of my corners have been pretty similar. So I get these nice little cut off scraps. And what I do is I take my measurements that I just kind of guesstimate by, pulling out my tape, and I make my initial cut on a template like this. Then what I can do is test fit it, see what I like, don't like. This one, I needed to add just a little bit to this dimension. And so then what I can do is transfer that over to the piece that I'm gonna be installing. And then I can make my cut. And believe it or not, I made my bottom template and I made my top template. So once you have a template to go off of, at least you can double check, make sure you like it before you cut a full piece and then aren't happy with it. Just give it a go. All right, so once I have this cut, I've got a measurement that I'm using, which is 82 1/8, to a reference point that I have on my template. Because the bottom of my trim has some weird cuts as well, I want to make sure that I use my reference line. So at 82 1/8, we're gonna go 1 3/8 down, and then that is where our 412 pitch is going to be. Let's go ahead and cut this, we'll see how we do. Now, before I go ahead and paint this, because we are going to want to paint all these cut edges, we'll take it up there and make sure it actually fits. Okay, so we should be able to slide this up, and I wish I would have done that, son of a gun. I'm probably going to change this. I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that. That's pretty good down there, and when I cut that down, that will probably work. Lesson learned. Definite oversight on my part. Dang it. This one, however, this one hits all the marks. I like it. Now that I like it, I'll go ahead and paint all my cut ends and get it installed. So the most important thing about this corner was getting it on so that we could get our gutter back installed with the rain coming. We should have no problem at this point. Just gonna dab these nails, cover them up. Now I'll deal with these details later when we come back up to do our band boards. Doesn't that look nice though, having that corner on, Greg? I'm pretty excited because you can see we've got this siding done down to those windows down there that we really wanted to get to for our plumber to put some bathroom vents out the wall. We didn't want a vent to be right where a batten was. So instead of just kind of guesstimating with a tape measure and assuming that it hits exactly where we want, we said, give us a day, let's get this siding done. And that's what we did. We also got this corner trim on up here so that we could get this gutter back on, and then this gutter on, which is nice because we've got like an 1.5 inch rain coming tomorrow is what they're saying for a couple days. So we're not gonna be able to get back here probably for a little bit. So I want to make sure that was all taken care of. So now that we are down to this point, all we can do back here is run our battens, finish this little bit of siding way up there, but then we have to start on our roof steel so that we can finish the rest of this siding, both the roof steel on top and then the ceiling steel on the underside of the porch. That will allow us to finish the rest of this wall. And it just feels good to finally be back outside getting something done, even if it's still cold, even if it's windy, and it's gonna rain tomorrow. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and we'll just keep going right into tomorrow. Well, everybody's here, man. Everybody's getting stuff done. We just got bathroom exhaust fans put out to the outside. I'll show you that because that was what we were pushing on our siding to get done. It's gonna get bright for a second. That was the big push on getting that siding installed so they could get that done. And what I'm going to work on now is once they finish upstairs ceilings, they might come downstairs, start working on some ceilings. And what we added was here in the master suite, we're actually going to be insulating the floor or the ceiling, however you want to look at it. And in here we're going to be using some mineral wool, which the problem was I couldn't get enough of it in a quick enough time to use it upstairs too. So that's why upstairs we're using a fiberglass bat, and down here we're using a mineral wool. The worst time I ever had, I'll never forget it. You've always looked up to me. The scariest thing ever. I just stepped right out of the...
Scarier than when you fell off the ladder at my parents' place?
Yes, definitely, 100%. Because I just, you can't do anything about it. So you just roll to your side and take it. I fell right on my butt, man.
I thought you just kind of like...
I took it in the shoulder. So here we're doing some mineral wool in the ceiling, and this is to cut down from any noise. You know, the bedrooms for the kids are above here. I should have a mask on. But I don't want to get made fun of by the trades that are on site, you know?
Yeah, if you put a mask on, you might get made fun of a lot.
Should I be wearing like a respirator with this? Is this gonna cause damage? What's this? Does it probably says like causes cancer in California, but I'm definitely gonna need to take a shower after this. I can't, dude.
Okay.
I can't, dude.
Right.
Whew, I just about passed out, man. No doubt, running this insulation in the ceiling here, this mineral wool, lots easier with the stilts. Used to run these around back when I did remodeling and had to do drywall, and I picked up a pair of these off the internet, like some crazy forum I found them on, but I haven't worn them in probably, when did we decide I wore them last? 10 years ago. It's like riding a bike, you get on these things, and now I just feel like a much bigger man than Greg. You can really see the size difference. Come here, Greg. This is probably very loud. We got a sawzall or jigsaw going on. It's getting quieter with all these walls of insulation and going up and drywall. So this is a pretty good example of how the electrical can be done in a post frame. You can mount your boxes to a post. Since this is an 1.5 girt, an 1.5 box, you put your mud ring and you're good to go. Hey, John, you won't be pulling out any of these wires though. They're all already done, right?
They're already done.
Okay, because I was thinking about that, like, well, I'm gonna do this, and then if you're gonna have to yank them, but you won't. Okay.
Nope, that's good right where you're at.
Okay. So now we'll just go ahead and, this is going out to an outdoor GFCI, and I'm just gonna shoot some foam in here. And then also we'll do some sealing on the outside. But here we can use Romex, so it's kind of a nice thing. You can just run the Romex where you need it. I know it's not, you know, not everybody's favorite, but I like Romex. It's super easy. All right, so all the different trades finally left for the day, and it's bearable in here. Oh, except for my phone. First time coming upstairs. Turn you around. This is really looking good. Check it out. The drywallers are going to town. We've got this entire room in here is insulated, and the partition walls between the bedrooms are insulated. And just kind of going to town here. Looks like they've got the mechanical room. Ooh, check that out. That's kind of hard to see. Looks like they've got sheetrock all around where the furnace is coming in. I think these bedrooms are pretty close. You know, it's just nice to finally start getting a feel for what these spaces actually are, because we've been walking around these rooms. There's been, you know, studs everywhere, and it's really hard to kind of know what it is. But now you can feel the ceiling here up above your head. Out here at the edge, we're at 7 foot, so still, you know, you can see plenty of room. And then out here in the bedroom, I can't touch the ceiling up here. So, you know, it's unique having the raised bottom core. Do you hear that difference in sound? because this is all insulated right now. But as we come outside out here, I don't think they've done, no, they haven't done anything here. So we did insulate this partition wall to the great room just to add a little bit of, sound deadening if the kids are up here playing. And then obviously we've got the staircase covered in insulation as well. But we're going to keep rolling this. Greg and I have got all of our framing done, minus the 2 posts in the kitchen that we've got to swap out the temporary post that we had there and put in the finished cedar post. And then I think we're done in here. So we're ready for the drywall to do everything that he needs to do. We had a nice catch by the plumber. Me and the plumber were doing a walkthrough, making sure that everything was here. And we both noticed the dryer vent was missing. So we had no ductwork ran for the dryer vent. So that they're going to work on tomorrow morning, get that done. And what else, Greg? Was there anything else?
Plumbers?
Plumbers and HVAC. I think that was...
Thermostat wires.
Oh, yeah. No, I think they got those ran. I think they got the thermostat wires ran. We've got a monster vent hood over the kitchen stove. And this is a 12-inch duct that goes to a double 8-inch duct. So it's like 1200 CFM. If nothing else, we need makeup air in this house just for that fan, because when you turn that on, it's going to like implode this house. It's so tight. But the other thing that Greg and I did today that I think turned out really good, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear it as I'm talking to you, but as I walk into this master bedroom, I can hear the difference. It gets quiet because we've ran mineral wool on the ceiling, on the party walls that go between, the common spaces. We didn't do anything with the walls here because this is all closet. So there's going to be a lot of, distance between the outside. And then over here, the master bath, that has insulation. You can see it way back here. And then we did this wall here because this is the guest bath, I guess. So yeah, it's really coming together. And tomorrow, I don't know what Greg and I are going to do exactly. Greg was also, here's another thing we did today, is we ran fiberglass on the walls in the garage. This is like this room is going to be like the workout room. So just to separate all of this, and then back here is kind of like the little man cave room where, once again, we also wanted to separate. So this is like a 16 by 20 man cave. Pretty cool. This is just fiberglass. And yeah. I bet that's my wife calling. Time for me to get out of here. We'll catch you guys later.